Yep. Yep, yep. As soon as I hit start, the cat starts being distracting. Anyway, welcome back to Hiveswap, the Friendsim. We are doing our fourth and final route for tonight with Bronya Ursama, the Jade Blood, who actually got, I played through the, if you haven't been watching this whole series, I did Skyla first, and she actually alluded to the Jade Blood colony, off in the distance nearby where MSPA Reader starts off with. So it's kind of cool how, the different routes do acknowledge each other, even within the same game. They've been making little call-outs to the previous routes, too, from volumes 1 and 2. So it is interesting that there is, a story here. I did not expect that. I honestly kind of thought that I did not expect story progression in this in the Friendsims when I started playing them. I honestly thought that it would just be one game, and each additional volume would just be a different route from the exact same starting point. But no, there is actual story progression from volume to volume. It's interesting. I like it. Anyway, Bronya Ursama. And she's got that very spidery sign, which I think I've looked up before. It stands out because it's a very distinctive Jade Blood sign. But I don't remember what her sign means off the top of my head. I just know I've looked at it before because it's a very distinctive sign. Anyway, Brony, you're up. You've been traveling through a cave network for a while now. Excuse me. Collect all the friends. The rigid stone is a welcome respite from the eerily organic infrastructures you've been encountering, but it's also proving to be an unwelcome respite from friend-making. Maybe it was too much to hope for that this cavern would be home to another potential new buddy. Maybe leaving the big city behind was a horrible mistake. Just maybe these dark, cold tunnels are completely devoid of... Oh, hang on, there's a bunch of buildings in the distance. Oh, hello. I thought you were one of my girls, but you don't look like a Jade Blood, or anything else, actually. How strange. You convey your usual spiel regarding your circumstances. You're lost and lonely, and your ribs are still broken, you think? Honestly, the ribs are fine. You could just use another friend or two. I see. My first responsibility is to my Jades and the Mother Grub, so I can't make any promises of friendship just yet. But you do look like you need someone to take care of you. Here in the Brooding Caverns, we follow a few simple rules. 1. Don't invite drama from up top down below. 2. Protect the Mother Grub. 3. We have no hierarchy, but do what I say. Let's do everything we can to keep up our current record of dozens of sweeps without any Jades being called. That is a pretty good record. You're not sure what half of those words mean, but you nod your head. Good, I'll take you to our hive. Follow me? You follow her into her hive, which looks like a school or some kind of dormitory, with multiple floors and multiple rooms. Usually more of my Jades are around. I suppose everyone's out watching the Imperial drones arrive with the filial pails. Girls, we have a visitor to our cavern. 1. Do not be alarmed by their bizarre appearance. They seem to be harmless and quite weak. 2. Do not give them more injuries than they already have. Our visitor deserves a warm Jade Blood welcome. She claps her hands. No one else is around, but you stand to attention and give her the thumbs up to show that you read her loud and clear. You notice that she called you visitor and not friend, but that's okay. You can do whatever it takes until you've upgraded from visitor to friend, or at least charity case. You follow her upstairs when she stops at the big look. And the H button isn't working either. Again, I don't know why that stopped working. You follow her upstairs and she stops at a big room on the second floor. When you step into it, you have to clap your hand over your mouth to keep from gaggling at the revolting sight. Wrigglers! MSPA has noticed these are adorable. Grubs, yes. They are big, baby-sized larva-looking things all over the floor, squirming around and crying and inchworming out of kiddie pools of green slime. What the hell? They're babies! They're babies! How can you not love the babies? Freaking MSPA reader. This is our nursery. Most of these wrigglers are sick or injured, so we look after them here until they're well enough to go back out into the caverns and spin their cocoons. She looks shifty all of a sudden, giving you some side-eye like she's sizing you up. You try to be very non-threatening and also 100% trustworthy. We keep this nursery on the down low. It's not against any laws, but it's something of a break with tradition to save any of the grubs instead of just letting them die. I like this girl. She's a good one. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why we do it. I guess it just feels right to me to take care of them, the same way I just take care of my jades. Nursery, huh? You look around again with this new information. You guess you can sort of see how the babies look like how the wrigglers look like babies. You can't believe that one of those things would grow up to be anything that looks like Bronya, but this is an alien planet, so who knows. She takes you over to a shelf that seems to hold medical supplies. You're not sure what can be done for your broken ribs, but maybe she has some kind of alien technology that can help. But when she starts going through the cabinet, you don't see anything that looks high-tech like the thing that fixed your arm. I guess most of what we have here is stuff for the wrigglers. I'm not familiar enough with your bizarre anatomy to know if it will help. But if you're not completely sure how to do something, it's best to try anyway. Love this girl. That pose very much reminds me of Maya from Ace Attorney. 1. Even if you fail, everyone else can still learn from your mistake. 2. Maybe you won't fail. You never know. You're not so sure about applying that ethos to your broken ribs, but she looks so determined, it might be rude to say no. Saving. Go for it. My ribs are already broken, so what's the harm? Thanks, but no thanks. I'll heal on my own just fine. Neither of these choices seem really obvious, which is interesting because, yeah, this is the first choice of the route, isn't it? Normally the first choice of the route is like really blindingly obvious which is the correct choice. But like, I think I think the one that has the best chance of going hilariously wrong is trying to fix the ribs, because that might kill you. Like that does seem to be the like I think this is the wrong option, so I'm gonna pick it. Because you might die hilariously. We'll see. Okay, come here. Lift up your shirt so I can get to your injured bellow sack enclosures. Yes, like that. Turn the part that's all bloody and horrifying towards me. She has something that looks like some kind of ointment. It's a shade of bright green similar to the slime beds you see around the nursery, and also seems to be glowing. Seems like there's nothing wrong with applying it to your skin. But despite your optimism, the second Bronya rubs some of it onto your broken skin. You feel a searing hot pain like you just got doused with poison. You flinch backward instinctively, your momentum carrying you too far, and as you step back you trip on something behind your feet. Oh no. Oh no, are you going to kill the baby? You cartwheel your arms, but it's no use. You're going down. You're yelling timber. You're going down. I'm yelling timber. I like to move. You're going to squish a baby. You feel something soft and squishy break your fall, and you hear a terrible squelching noise and some kind of animal squeal. You have fallen right onto one of the wrigglers. You roll off of it, but it's no use. It's squished flat, and you're covered in olive fluid that you think might be its blood. You look up to see Ponya's horrified face, and you know that there's no hope for friendship in these vengeful eyes. You might want to run before I throw you out this window and break the rest of your bones. Well, that was nice of her. Game over. Alternia's deadliest ass. So, yeah, you just kill the baby. It's honestly, when this is a better ending than I expected, given the circumstances. Now you're a baby murderer? Indeed you are. Thanks, but no thanks. I'll heal on my own just fine, thanks. Oh, well, if you're sure. Worried about you, though. You seem like you need help, and I wish I could help you more. If I can't take care of someone, I'm not sure how we can ever truly be friends. Interesting. It's like reverse codependency. You tried to cheer her up, pointing out that friendship is a two-way street, after all. She doesn't have to concern herself with your mutilated frame. How can you help her instead? Well, sure, there are things around here that I could use some assistance with. However, don't take this the wrong way, but we've only just met. I don't know that I can trust you to be as responsible as I am. It's not easy to be the one in charge. You have to be 1. Conscientious, 2. Considerate, and 3. Competent. At all times. I like her number thing. It's kind of fun. You try to think of times in your life when you've been conscientious, considerate, or competent. You're drawing a bit of a blank. But hey, new planet, new you. You assure her that you have what it takes. I'm surprised Bronya didn't join the list of troll girls capable of killing people just there. Oh, she's perfectly capable of killing you. She's just, like... I think it's like, the fact that she didn't kill you was her just being very, very polite. That's my read on that situation. I guess if you want to prove that you can be responsible, I can let you help me out today. It's a good time for a visit to the Mother Grub. You were careful to step around all the little guys on the floor as you head out of the nursery. She takes you back outside, and these caverns are even bigger than you first realized. They're also dark, and cold, and gloomy, and you can't see anywhere that might lead up to the planet's surface. Does she really just live down here all the time? To make some conversation during this cold hike in a damp cave, you mentioned that living underground like this seems kind of depressing. You realize too late that wasn't very tactful, but she doesn't get angry at your conversational gambit of insulting her home. Oh no, it's very peaceful down here. Well, in comparison to anywhere else. I quite enjoy it. The brooding caverns are a place for life and birth, not death. It's pretty uncommon on Alternia. That's a depressing, that is a depressing indictment on this planet, to be perfectly honest. You're still not sure what she means by brooding caverns, but you guess it has something to do with the wrigglers in the nursery. Before you can ask, you reach the top of a ridge and get a new, wider view of the rest of this cavern. It's enormous, probably the cave floor. All over the cave floor you see more wrigglers crawling everywhere. Cocoons line the cave walls and the largest stalactites, with some young trolls crawling out of them. Walking, flying, and crawling amongst the wrigglers and young trolls are a variety of white monsters of all kinds and shapes and sizes. I'm keeping myself from murder by throwing you out. Yes, exactly. In the center of the cavern there is... you don't even know how to describe it. It looks like a huge, many-legged queen bug of some kind, with a goat-shaped skull and horns coming out of its head. Her bulbous sphincter ripples as she lays a continuous stream of hundreds of eggs, from which you assume the gray wrigglers will hatch. And marching through all of these, you see several hulking bipedal creatures, each carrying 2 buckets, either to or away from the mother grub. They looked armed, and they moved like regimented troops, soldiers of some kind. You are instinctively terrified of them. This is where the magic happens, and by that I mean the continuation of our species. Jade Bloods like myself are entrusted with looking after this process, which is of course a very special job. 1. The Imperial drones carry filial pails of genetic material to the mother grub for her slurry. 2. She lays eggs that hatch new grub broods. 3. After the wrigglers emerge from their cocoons, the new trolls will go through the trials, and the ones that make it will be selected by Lucius to help care for them. 4. Together, the young trolls and their Luci go up to the surface together, where the trolls will grow up or get culled, or whatever. As Bronya explains troll reproduction to you, one of the Imperial drones veers sharply to the left, and in the process tramples over a few wrigglers and young trolls. The drone continues on, but several of the Luci cry out, crowding around their dead or injured charges. One of them, a gigantic beast that resembles a bison, bellows and rears up on its hind legs. hitting one of the other Luci with its front hoof. Ah, jeez, not again. This kind of damage control is a lot of what we have to deal with. Whenever a Lucis goes rogue out of grief or confusion, there's the potential for it to lash out at other Luci, or Wrigglers, or the Mother Grub herself. We J-Bloods cannot let that happen. She looks so concerned, marked contrast to how confident she seemed before now. You offered to help her out earlier, and it seems like now's your chance. Someone has to stop that rogue Lucius, and that someone could be you? Okay. Fight the monster, save the day, you've got this. Or be a weenie. So once again, very much like the last big choice we had to make, kind of the crux of this decision is whether or not I believe MSPA Reader can screw this up. Because I want to help, and I think helping is the right call, so I'm going to be a weenie. I think MSPA Reader will bumble his way through being helpful here. So I'm going to be a weenie because that's probably the wrong choice. You definitely do not like the idea of wading into a monster fight, not even to save the progenitor of your new friend species. In fact, you don't like that Bronya is so focused on protecting all these helpless toddlers and distressed animals instead of taking care of you. Oh, you're an asshole. You stand around, it's like, is it just me or is MSPA Reader a bigger asshole in the failed endings? You stammer out that you don't think you can take any kind of monster right now. In fact, you just felt another stab of pain in your ribs. You might be blacking out. Ponya's concerned face turns in your direction as you start to swoon. She catches you before you hit the ground, and your heart flutters. You look up at her serious face, and she looks like such a mom, but also such a friend. Like some sort of combination of those two concepts. Yikes, you don't look so good. I can't leave you alone, not when you're in such bad shape. Maybe I could carry you on your back while I try to stop the rampaging Lucius? Your heart flutters turn to pinpricks of alarm. That sounds dangerous, mainly for you. Try to think of what you can say to dissuade her. Something other than, I think you should ignore the helpless babies and mother in danger behind you in favor of continuing to hold me in your strong arms. But before you can speak, you hear a commotion behind her. She turns to look over her shoulder and her face sags with relief. The other Jades are here. They should know what to do. We've taken care of crises like this before. Of course, usually I'm there to help. As you crane your neck, you can just glimpse a crowd of trolls corralling the rogue Lucius away from the Mother Glorb, while other trolls calm the remaining Luci and swoop up any Wigglers in harm's way. Looks like I needn't have worried. They're more than capable of stepping in while I'm otherwise occupied. I'm so proud. Boronia runs a tight ship. Take this opportunity to compliment her on what a good leader she must be to have trained the others so well. Super smooth. She beams at you and sets you down carefully on the cavern floor, kneeling at your side. This could have gone quite badly. I'm glad I didn't make the wrong choice when I stayed to help you instead of rushing off. So now I kind of want to see what would have happened. Well, we will, eventually. It just goes to show, sometimes the best thing you can do for a group is take care of the weakest person in it. You kind of want to object to being called the weakest person, but you did just fake a fainting spell for attention, so maybe now isn't the best time. Instead, you thank her sincerely for sticking by your side. The two of you watch together as order is gradually restored to the chaos below, and even with your injuries, you feel close to content, and quite hopeful about how this relationship is progressing. You notice that at your side, several Wrigglers are blindly squirming around, confused and crying. There are some young trolls here too, looking around all lost and bereft. You're not sure if their Luci ran off with the others that got involved in the fracas, or if these little guys are orphans now. Now that you're seeing them out in the natural cavern light, the Wrigglers look less like maggots to you. In fact, they're even kind of cute. You can see why Bronya would want to take care of them. One of the smallest Wrigglers closest to you has somehow flipped itself onto its back and seems unable to right itself, its little legs waving in the air while he cries. Oh my god, that's adorable. Trying to be careful with your ribs, you reach over to scoop him up and cradle him into your chest, rocking him back and forth until his cries quiet down. Wow, you have a very strong nurturing instinct. I think he likes you. You almost look like you could be his Lucius, or a Jade Blood. You are pleased that she approves of your caretaking display? The Wriggler's cough breaks through your haze of smug satisfaction. When you look down, you realize that he seems to be having some trouble breathing. You point this out to Ponia. Good observation. You really are a natural taking care of other creatures, aren't you? Some people find that nurturing ability to be very attractive to a potential friend. But as for the Wriggler, this is definitely not a good sign. I'm surprised none of these drones have noticed that he's sick. If we leave him here, he'll be culled for sure. Bronya takes the Wiggler from you, and you're more than happy to hand him over, considering that you have no idea what to do with a sick baby that's not your species. Also, your broken ribs make holding a baby kind of painful. And Bronya... Oh yeah, I keep calling her Ponia. Whoops. Bronya holds the Wriggler carefully with perfect ease, just like you hope she'll cradle your new friendship in its infancy. Back to the infirmary. Once Bronya feels assured that her Jades have the situation at the brooding caverns under control, you both take the Wriggler back to the Jade Blood Nursery. You hover around uselessly while Bronya sets up some kind of crib filled with green slime. You're a little concerned when she takes the Wriggler and submerges him under the slime, because, like, he was already having trouble breathing, surely drowning in slime won't help. Minda is still thinking of ponies. I can't help it, man. The super should help strengthen his bellow sacs and soothe his sorrows shoot. When he gets healthy again, I'll take him back to the cavern and let him free to make his cocoon and palpate. But he's so small, it's unlikely he'll survive the trials, or be selected by the Lucius. You hate to see Bronya looking sad. You try to be sympathetic, mentioning your astute observation that this whole system set up with the Wrigglers and the trials and the culling seems pretty brutal. What? Oh no, I would never suggest. This is just the way the world works. And it's fine! It's fine. Trials are how young trolls prove that they're strong enough to survive. It's only right for the weak to be culled. It's the purpose of Jade Bruns to ensure the continuation of our species, and consequently the henospectrum. 1. We are not revolutionaries. 2. We're meant to do our jobs and keep our heads down and keep things running smoothly. I would never assume to question the basic tenets of 3. I would never presume to question the basic tenets of Alternian society. That would bring negative attention from the High Bloods, and I just want to keep my Jades safe. You look around at the nursery and all these injured or underdeveloped Wrigglers that Bronya was apparently supposed to let die. You think it might not be true that she doesn't question the way her world works. She looks at you like she's scared you'll call her on it and expose her altruistic tendencies. You tried to salvage this conversation thread. Did you say that culling Wrigglers sounds brutal? You meant neutral! Yes, you feel 100% neutral on this topic, neither commenting on the culling side of things, nor eager to take up arms in revolution. Ah yes, neutral is how I feel about it as well. What a good way to describe exactly how I feel about all controversial political subjects. Did I mention that keeping this nursery isn't technically illegal? Because it isn't. Technically. There's no reason for any of Teresa's drones to come investigating our hive. And if any drones do come knocking, we have nothing to hide. No borderline revolutionary ideas will be tolerated within these walls. Teresa... Somebody mentioned to me that Teresa is the name of the heiress. It never came up in Act 1, but that's her, that's the heiress. Bronya laughs nervously and looks around the room, like she's making sure any Imperial drone's hiding in her announcement. You feel bad for how nervous she is. You didn't mean to freak her out. You tell her that she sounds super convincing, and why shouldn't she? Because she's clearly telling the truth. If you were an Imperial drone, you would definitely be satisfied right now with her clearly law-abiding and neutral ways. Thank you, that means a lot. You cast about for something to change the subject and mention that your ribs are feeling a bit better. Bronya's face lightens, and she lifts up your arm gently so she can touch the injured part of your torso, examining it in her typically responsible and authoritative way. You shiver and wonder if her touch has healing properties. Glad to hear that. After all, I don't like it when my friends suffer. Your heart leaps. You look up, scarcely allowing yourself to hope. Could it be? Or was she just making a general statement? If you're not in any more pain, hopefully that means your injuries will heal soon. I'll take care of you until then, my friend. You're overcome. Your eyes fill with tears. Bronya smiles at you and squeezes your hand. victory! Self-care comes first. Oh, that was nice. It's like, we got 2 nice trolls this volume. How weird. Like, there's been... Like, so far, like, in Volume 1, we had a murdery troll and a social mess. In Volume 2, we had a murdery troll and a social mess. And in this one, we just had 2 very nice trolls. Teresa. Minda was wrong again. Yeah, I was trying to make the wrong call, and I failed. So let's see how MSPA Reader fucks this up. Came up, I was just reading an alternative. You've got this. The Bison Lucius seems to be causing quite a ruckus. Other Luci have now grown wild up too, with some of them trying to gather wrigglers to keep them out of harm's way, and others just getting hyped to thrash. Seems like it could turn to a monster stampede, and you're close to the Mother Grub's big, soft, vulnerable abdomen. Not great. Fighting a monster single-handedly seems like a daunting first step into friendship, but you did tell her that you could be responsible. You square your shoulders and tell Boronia that she has nothing to worry about. You're going to stop that, Lucius, calm down all the other Luci, and protect the Mother Grub, all without breaking a sweat and hopefully without breaking any more bones either. Yes, it's a good volume. 2 good girls. Whoa there, I was going to suggest that I go after it while you stay here. You still seem kind of weak and fragile, even apart from your injuries, I mean. I don't want you to get hurt worse, and I'm not sure I trust anyone other than myself to take the lead on this. That wasn't quite the reaction you were hoping for. Normally, it would be all about sitting back and letting her protect you because, well, protective and responsible is a good look on her. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and you don't know how else you're going to prove yourself worthy to be her friend. You do your best to project an air of confidence, or at least competence. You assure her that this is no sweat for you. You take down raging bison all the time on your home planet. You're known for it, actually. Oh god. I can see already how this is going to go badly. Well, if you say this isn't your first ungulate roping gallop exhibition, I'll believe you. I'll hang back and let you give it a shot. But if it gets too overwhelming in there, I'm right here. 1, care for the Mother Grub is my responsibility as J-Blood. 2, I'd never abandon a friend to deal with a mess on their own. If we end up being friends, that is. Oh, hell yes. Now you have reason to hope. No, you don't. This is the bad route. Your failure is already guaranteed. You approach the rampaging bison with caution. Do all bison have horns that big? Maybe they do. You're not a bison expert. Excuse me, but you're pretty sure they don't all have teeth that nasty? Bison on Earth mostly eat grass, don't they? This guy doesn't look like a herbivore. At first you tried to calm Lucius down by talking to it, but your soothing words have no effects. In fact, you might have just made it even angrier by suggesting that it pause and take some deep breaths in reaction to its trampling charge. You're not sure it can understand human speech, come to think of it. You circle around it, wishing that you had some kind of lasso or something. Maybe you can herd it away from the Mother Grub. You look around to see if any of those other Luci look vaguely like Earth's shepherd dogs, but no dice. You hesitate too long and the Luci turns away, its furious eyes falling on the Mother Grub. It stomps its hooves, snorts air out of its nostrils, and screams in a way that sounds a lot more hellish than you imagine normal bison are capable of. It's obviously about to charge, and you can only think of one thing to do. In desperation, you leap forward and tackle it football style, doing everything you can with your flimsy human body to drag it to its side. It half works. You plow into the Luci and stop it in its tracks, but it topples over into a nest of wrigglers, taking you down with it. Wrigglers and young trolls go bouncing everywhere, squealing in distress. Their Luci descend upon you in a rage. Everything is chaos for a while. You're trapped beneath the Bison Lucius, which is very worrying for you for all of your body parts, and you think you might feel something important rupturing inside you. But hey, on the bright side, this crushing mass is protecting you from all the other pissed-off Luci trying to attack you. Just as your whole breathing situation is starting to get dicey, you hear a commotion of what sounds possibly the trouncing of some of the smaller Luci that were trying to get to you. The crowd of beasts around you scatters, and then you hear her. Oof, I'm having a hard time getting this thing off of you. He's still very angry. He keeps trying to kick me. There's a bronze blood when you need one. You don't know what that means, but you're very grateful that she's here to help you. Try to communicate this, but it comes out garbled from all the blood in your mouth. Maybe don't try to speak, or move, or help. You experience a sinking feeling that could be related to your diminishing odds of impressing Boronia and becoming her friend. Or it could be the compression of all your internal organs. Either way, it's tough to feel optimistic right now. But before you can give in to complete despair, you hear other voices. Your view is blocked by the mass of bison flesh on top of you. But could it be? Are those other people here to save you? Finally, I was wondering where you all had gotten off to. Let's all work together, girls. 1, you two grab his horns to keep his head still and keep it from biting anyone. 2, the rest of you come around with me to its backside so I can push it without getting kicked. You hear some grunting and muttering, and the bison starts making noises that's more noises that sound more confused and less furious. So much baby death and bad roots. The pressure and pain on your chest briefly spike in intensity as the thing's weight shifts, and then they must succeed in draining it off of you because suddenly you can breathe again. But the crisis is not over yet. While you're still testing the use of your lungs and blinking up at the cavern ceiling, you hear a new cacophony of enraged monster noises. Uh-oh, the other Lushai are still agitated? Get down there and try to calm them down. Protect the mother grub. You try to lift yourself to see what's going on, but putting any weight on your arms makes you feel like maybe all the bones got turned to confetti. Painful, painful confetti. You feel strong hands propping you up gently, and now your head is in Bronia's lap. You try to focus more on how this is a nice place for your head and less on the pain. This is not good. I don't know if my jades can reach the stampede in time, and the mother grub could get injured, not to mention all those wigglers in danger. Oh no. You don't think the situation could get any worse, but now you see that several of the Imperial drones that have been about to leave the cavern are turning back, drawn by all the noise and chaos. But maybe this could be a good thing? Maybe they can instill some order. Fuck, they're going to kill everyone? Yeah, they are. She scrambles to her feet, in the process letting your head whack down on the cavern floor. Jesus Christ. Your vision swims, but you can still make out the drones firing indiscriminately at the Lucius, at the Grubs, at the Wigglers, at the Jade Bloods. One laser beam skims the side of the Mother Grub's massive midsection, and their scream is so loud that the ceiling shakes and a few stalactites shake loose, falling on drones and Lucine Wrigglers alike. It's a total catastrophe. A whole rainbow's worth of Troll, Wriggler, and Lucius blood is splattering the cavern walls. Bronya seems paralyzed by the chaos, looking from her jades to the Mother Grub to the imperiled Wrigglers like she's not sure who to help first. Can't believe it. This is the worst disaster we've ever had down here. All because I thought I could sit back and let someone else be responsible for once. If I were a less secure person, I would have let this moment plant a seed of self-doubt in my mind about my ability to take care of others and do my job well. Or I could chalk it up to you being really fucking stupid. Yes! Let's go with that. You shrink under the weight of her glare. She's green in the face from how angry she is. You swallow and manage to spit out enough blood to ask a question that you already know is hopeless. Does this mean you can't be friends? Are you serious right now? I do not make friends with anybody who recklessly endangers the trolls and wigglers under my care. You killed them all? Jesus Christ. Oh. Well, that got dark. Like, the failure screens in the first couple volumes were just all wacky, goofy shenanigans, but this time, failure meant lots and lots of death. Alright. I love Angry Bronya is pretty great, though. I love that. You killed them all. Good lord. Be a weenie. MSPA Ritter is the Bard of Doom. Yeah, I like that. So, or lime blood. Yeah, there was a little lime blood there. Maybe it was supposed to be yellow. Anyway, so what does Bronia's sign mean? Hook me up. Hook me up with the sign of the Jade Blood. Hi, Giddy. Ugh. Good lord. Maybe it's Lucius blood? Just because all the trolls have gone doesn't mean Lime Lucia are. She's a hero of Prospit and Breath. Oh, that's nice. Okay, so... the virus. Her sign is virus. Sign of the adaptable. So yeah, there you go. That's the end of that for tonight. We will be back on Monday night with all of the trolls from volumes 4 and 5. So yeah, I will see you then. All right. Good night, everybody.